What's going on, everyone? This is Rich, and you're watching another episode of Gaming on a Budget. It's the channel that puts gamers first by reviewing free or inexpensive games with hopes of me recommending you some dope shit. So today I'll be reviewing the game Warface. Downloaded this game a while ago and just recently decided to play it. And yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about some of the facts of the game. So it's an online first-person shooter developed by Crytek. Some other games that they've done include Crysis, Rise Son of Rome, and the original Far Cry. This game came out just shy of 2 years ago, September 2018. It was developed on the CryEngine, published by Crytek, My.com, and Xbox Game Studios. Platforms you can play it on include PC, PS4, Xbox One, and the Nintendo Switch, so basically anything you would ever want to play on, it is available. So according to a Facebook post in 2019, it is cross-platform compatible, but that's all I found. So the story of the game, essentially there's two factions. Blackwood, which is a corporation of soldiers who use military power to take money and resources from all over the globe. They also engage in things like profiteering. So if you're not sure what profiteering is, it's basically just making a bunch of profit illegally. So as you can imagine, these are obviously the bad guys. The other faction is Warface, which is basically the protagonist group, which tries to stop Blackwood. Not much to say story-wise about the game. It's an online FPS where you just go around shooting a bunch of people. I'm not sure what to make of this game based on the trailer, but I did end up seeing this Terminator-looking thing, and I was just like, oh, that's actually quite different. The game gave off a co-op vibe, which I was really looking forward to. And yeah, with that being said, we'll just talk about the gameplay. So the first thing you do in Warface is you do one of those adjust the brightness things so you can calibrate the dark versus the light for your TV. When I saw this, I was just kind of like, oh, that's professional. That must mean this is going to be good. After that, you move on to the create your character section. I'm using air quotes because you don't really create a character. You kind of just pick a pre-made person and just play. Kind of sucks because even though there's like some diverse looks, there's like one black dude, and not to be funny, but this guy looks like he's Lewis from Left 4 Dead. Nothing wrong with that at all. It's just it's funny how he looks like Lewis from Left 4 Dead, like no joke. I also did notice that there wasn't too many women characters that you can play with. But anyway, after that you can go to training, or you can just choose to skip that shit, which is, you know, what most people probably want to do. So the main gameplay of Warface is split into two kinds of play. Player versus environment, or PvE, and player versus player, PvP. In the PvE section, there are co-op missions and spec op missions. For what I can tell, they're both kind of the same. The only difference is co-op missions are shorter. Also in the spec op missions, at least the one I played, there's this little comic book trailer thing, which was kind of cool. For PvP, in the versus category, there are 10 different game modes, including Team Deathmatch, Plant the Bomb, and even a Battle Royale. Not surprising, being how popular Battle Royales are becoming now. The other category is ranked, but this is only a seasonal thing, and during the time of this video, 7/21/2020, it's out of season, so you can't play ranked right now. So I've had this game for a good amount of time, playing it consistently for the past week or so, and I've come up with some points to talk about. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first point, classes. So in Warface, you have certain classes of soldiers you can pick from. A lot of familiar stuff like a medic, which is the only person that can heal themselves or other people. There's a rifleman who can replenish ammo for the team. There's the SED, which is the Terminator thing I was talking about earlier. Basically running around with the heavy machine gun and grenade launchers, and generally these guys are harder to take down. Each class has a special weapon associated with it. So for instance, the medics have shotguns. And of course, like I mentioned, the SEDs have the big machine guns. So from my experience playing the PvE games, you're not able to change your weapons. But if you're playing PvP, you can pick up weapons from like people you killed or people that have died on the game. Also in PvP matches, you're able to switch your class. So if you die and you're like, you know what, Rifleman sucks, I want to be a SED, you can switch the SED and you spawn again. So personally, I'm not a fan of the classes thing, but I know this is commonplace in games like Call of Duty. But to be fair, I haven't played much of Call of Duty or games like it. Overall, the idea of each class having a specialty, I guess is kind of cool. It encourages roles on teams and ultimately teamwork, but I just prefer to just run around and shoot it. That's me. So the next point, co-op and spec ops. So like I said earlier, co-op and spec ops are essentially the same thing. Essentially in both, your main goal is to stop Blackwood and their operations. Basically, a helicopter drops you off and you have to fight your way to the end, reaching checkpoints. Other than taking down Blackwood soldiers, you have to do things like interact with stuff like computers and have mini boss fights with helicopters shooting at you. This is pretty uniform across both game modes. The major difference is the time required. So co-op missions tend to be shorter, anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes, where Spec Ops are anywhere from 40 minutes to an hour. A big difference, as you can see. Another difference is the ability to play each. So co-op missions are more common to play amongst players, I guess. So the wait time is usually not horrible, but for Spec Ops, it varies a lot. There was one session where I was waiting for, no joke, 20 minutes for the game to find a match, and I was pissed. But I was also playing like late at night, so this could be why, but still, the game is international, so time zone shouldn't really be a big deal if there's a bunch of people playing the game, but it was still annoying. There are training simulations you can do while you wait, which are actually not bad. It's a great way to pass the time, and it's actually nice that they implemented something like this. I definitely would not have been just in the lobby looking at my inventory or whatever for 20 minutes just waiting for a match, so yeah. Another gripe I have with both of these game modes is if you are killed, you don't spawn back automatically. The only way you can be brought back is by a medic, or if you have a resurrection coin that you can use to bring you back. From what I can tell, resurrection coins are earned through the game as you play. So I started out personally with 3, and after playing for as long as I did, I ended up getting 10. I don't know exactly what got me them, but just playing the game gets you resurrection coins. But you know, I'm very scarce with my items, so I like to be sparingly with those kind of things. But if you don't have any resurrection coins and you don't have a medic to bring you back, you're just kind of SOL. You're just kind of stuck there, just spectating your teammates. The only other way you can be brought back is if your teammates make it to a checkpoint. Once you make it to a checkpoint, your ammo's replenished and anybody that died comes back. So this kind of sucks because if you die, you just kind of spectate other players, which is not fun at all, to be honest. You're all helpless and shit and just hoping your team can make it to the checkpoint so you can come back. And I don't know, it's not a fun experience. So the next point, items. Just like any other game, in Warface you can buy weapons and armor with in-game currency. And the in-game currency is called K credits. You can use these credits to update and repair items in your inventory. Also, you can buy skins to change your character's look, which is nice if you want more variety. You can buy the battle pass, which gives you extra missions as well as some items. So if you're like me and you're saying fuck all that shit, then you won't be buying any of that. Fortunately, you can gain experience while you play the game, and this experience can be applied to update and unlock new weapons and items. As you play, the game will give you weapons and items for a limited amount of time. So there might be like a new cool gun in your inventory, but it's gonna disappear in a few days. So I actually like this feature a whole lot because you do get to use cool weapons and armor, even if it's just for a limited amount of time. And you don't have to worry about spending money, which is cool. However, I do remember seeing these loot box things that you gotta spend money on, and I'm like, that's kind of whack actually. Arguably, this could be seen as a pay-to-win game because of, you know, you can buy better guns and, you know, that part of the game is not so chill, but that's life, I guess. Alright, so next point, graphics. So on the positive side, the graphics for this game are actually really good. Very clean design and great details all over this damn game. From the terrain you run around in, the buildings you see, damn, even the weapons look really dope visually. It's really a nice looking game, and being someone who loves visual stuff, it made a good impression on me. But this makes a whole bunch of sense because this is Crytek, who developed games like Crysis and Rise Son of Rome, which are also very visually great games. And anything less than that for Warface would probably be a letdown, to be honest. So graphics wise, this game does a great job. Alright, so next point, glitchy. So I know glitches kind of come with the territory when thinking about video games, but I cannot do this review in good conscience without bringing up some of the noticeable glitches I saw. So for one, I noticed this weird lag thing regarding movement. I would take some steps forward and then I'd be moved back. It was a weird movement glitch. I'm not sure if it was due to connection issues on my end, but it was very annoying and disorienting, to be honest. This happened a couple times, but thankfully it has not been a regular thing. The other glitch was shooting certain enemies and them not dying as a result. And it's not because my aim's bad, which, I mean, it can be, don't get me wrong, but these were direct hits, like f***ing headshots, and the dude was like, nope, not going down. Eventually the guy would just disappear, so I'm just guessing the NPC died a while ago, but the game lagged on registering that result, so I was just left shooting at his ghost or after image or whatever. This can be real frustrating for several reasons, and yeah, you should probably fix that, Crytek. Finally, the loading time for the gameplay was significant. I mean, this isn't a glitch, but it's still kind of fucked up. Now, I understand there's a lot to consider, like servers and managing resources and all that other technical jargon. Also, rendering those pretty graphics probably adds to it, but still, I'm a customer and I want to play as soon as possible. Besides, Warface was published by Xbox Game Studios, so you know they got the money. Use that money and reduce the load time for us. Alright, that's all I ask. Alright, so let's move on to some of the highlights of the game. First and foremost, PvP. In my honest opinion, player versus player is where it's at for me. The PvE stuff was okay, but I had most of my fun going PvP. I mean, most gamers could probably relate because there's this certain thrill you get when you're going against other human players versus the feeling when you're playing against the AI. Competition's at an all-time high against others and competition is fun. Plus there's a ton of different game modes in PvP you can play, so there should be something for everyone. Personally, I would recommend the PvE to get familiar with the game. Treat it more like an interactive training mode and you might enjoy it. Not to say that PvE can't be fun, it's just that they all tend to be the same thing after a while, you know? Alright, so next highlight, teamwork. So maybe it's just me, but I find that it's very easy to get dead in this game, which if you don't want to get dead, makes you adjust your playing style. You become more tactical out of necessity because you don't want to be left out of the game. This requires working together and having each other's backs. Also requires you to step into your role. For instance, I like the sniper class in this game, but often I would just kind of rush into battle with no strategy, you know, just doing what I would do in any other game. After time, I realized that I needed to help my team by falling back and picking off snipers and other players from a distance. I really like this about this game, and I feel like it influences me to be a better player and teammate across the board, so great job on that, Warface. Gotta give you that. And a quick note, the weapons in this game were very satisfying to me. The mechanics for the weapons are great, and again, visually they are really dope. I really enjoyed this, especially how crucial weapons are in a game like this, so again, props Warface. Final thoughts, Warface is actually not a bad game. Again, for me, the best part of it is the PvP, but there's a bunch of options in both PvP and PvE for any gamer that really wants to get into it. Visually, the game is really nice, the weapons are dope, even the training simulations in the game can be fun. Glitches and load time are noticeable hiccups, but these can be fixed with future patches and updates, so it's not a deal breaker. Overall, this game is definitely a thumbs up, and I will most def continue to play this game. Warface is super fun, and yeah, it's a good game. What do y'all think? Is Warface the game for you? Are you already playing it? Leave your comments and let me know what the vibes are. If you haven't already, please feel free to drop those likes and subscriptions to see more of my videos. I would definitely appreciate the love and support. Also, feel free to let me know any games you might want me to play. If there's a game out there that you think is good or you would like me to review it, feel free to drop those in the comments as well. As always, my name is Rich, this is Gaming on the Budget, and I'll see you on the next one.